Hook. She notices the silent signal you never thought you gave, thesis and relevance. Women read what men rarely intend to show, a slight posture, a trimmed hesitation, a quiet surrender, and they decide, in seconds, whether you are threat, prize, or background noise. This is not flattery or mysticism, it's pattern recognition wired by evolution and sharpened by culture. Through a Jungian lens, we will expose the unconscious message you broadcast and teach you how to control it. Promise. By the end, you will recognize the signal, extinguish its weakness, and begin emitting the kind of presence that compels attention. She did not wait for your words. She watched the case you opened with your body. Listen to that. It is a short sentence. It is the first judgment you will ever hear. Conversation comes later. Speech is bulky and easy to fake. The signal is lighter than speech. It rides on the edge of noise and becomes the verdict. In the space between one inhale and the next, your truth leaks. Men call it nervousness, women call it information. This chapter teaches you to see the leak. It teaches you to stop being surprised when doors close. It teaches you, most importantly, to stop giving away your position before you reach the field. Begin with a simple image. A room, low light, a woman at the bar. You cross. You think your shirt, your joke, your stride will decide the evening. You are wrong. The room listens first to your frame. The room listens to the set of your jaw. The room listens to the way your eyes slide. She reads a dozen small indices in the first 4 seconds, the tilt of your head, the breath under your words, the micro-frown you hide with forced charm. Those indices do the real work. They build a forecast. Short sentences now. Pay attention. What is the silent signal? It is the aggregate of micro-behaviors that reveal your default. Your default is where the shadow lives. Jung named it. He called it the shadow, not as a myth to be dramatized, but as a map, a region of habits that govern the involuntary. Your shadow speaks without permission. It speaks by posture. It speaks by voice. It speaks by the tiny concessions you have made to avoid embarrassment and to court approval. Those concessions are the language she reads. She reads posture for surrender. She reads voice for conviction. She reads timing for presence. Let us list the common leaks, the exact primitives that will betray you if left uncorrected. Memorize them, practice them, anchor them. The throat leak. A man who swallows his words, who tightens his throat at the prospect of attention, broadcasts avoidance. The throat should be a gate. When it trembles, the world knows you are unsure. That's not an aesthetic choice. It is a signal from the inner servant, the part of you that preemptively apologizes. The shoulder fold. Rounded shoulders shorten your silhouette and the claim you make on the space around you. The world reads a shorter man as less available for priority. Straighten, not to display muscle, but to regain distance like a fortress gate. The fast repair smile. A grin bought too early, the smile that attempts to cover anxiety, functions as a punctuation of insecurity. It is noise pretending to be warmth. Women can smell the hurry in it. The gaze slide. Eyes that dart and eyes that hold. The slide reads as submission. The hold reads as calculation. Both can be weaponized. Learn the difference. Use the hold to measure the room. Use the slide to avert escalation, but never give the room the habit of darting. The pace that rushes. Speech that rushes to fill silence reveals a fear of void. Silence is a test. Men who fear silence are men who fear being judged by absence. Silence, correctly used, makes the room bend. Silence, misused, makes you vanish. The small apology. Sorry, before a sentence. Just before a request. These tiny prefix apologies are tax levied on your presence. They compound. They bleed status. These 6 are enough to find the signal in any setting. They are the grammar of your unguarded self. The proof is replicable. Stand for 60 seconds in any public place. Breathe. Watch the way strangers adjust. Watch the way eyes move. The silent signal is everywhere. Now the antagonism you must confront. And the antagonist is not the woman across the room. It is not the loud man at the next table. It is the inner servant. A pale, efficient part of you that learned early that yielding buys safety. The inner servant is a pragmatist. It trades authority for comfort. It will rationalize every excuse. Better to be likable. Better to be harmless. The servant thinks in immediate outcomes. The servant avoids friction. It is not stupid. It is surviving. But it is the architect of your leaks. It is the shadow in motion. You must recognize the servant as a negotiator who will gladly sell your status for a quieter day. Call it out. Name it. As Jung suggested, bring the shadow into daylight, not to shame it into silence, but to show it the terms. Once named, the servant becomes a partner you can manage. Do this now. Pause. Breathe. Micro-order. Name the urge that wants you to apologize. Speak it aloud. I want to be liked. The sound of that sentence in your own voice will cut the spell. Pause again. Micro-order. Feel the throat. Feel the shoulders. Feel the breath. Let the image be precise. The throat is a gate. If you open it without control, you let false messages through. You should not mistake this for cruelty. This is calibration. The goal is not to harden until you are unrecognizable. The goal is to restore congruence between interior and exterior, so that your presence says what you mean and means what you say. Here are 3 micro rules: compact, brutal, and actionable. Commit them to muscle. Micro rule 1, the pause rule. Wait 3 seconds before speaking after a question or after someone else finishes. 3 seconds is a small island in a sea of noise. Use it. It slows your biology and forces your shadow to reveal itself. It makes your words land with weight. Micro rule 2, the anchor rule. Anchor your breath to your diaphragm. Inhale slowly to the count of 4. Exhale slowly to the count of 5. Anchor the voice beneath the collarbone. When you speak from the anchor, your throat relaxes and your tone settles. That extra millimeter of depth translates into perceived competence. Micro rule 3, the space rule. Occupy the space you have. Remove the tiny defensive gestures, the phone as shield, the crossed arms, the wallet in the front pocket like a talisman. Stand with a subtle expansion, chest open enough to declare you answer to no interior criticism at this moment. Practice these. Small repetition, once daily, will change the forecast. Now, specific drills. These are not philosophy. They are actions you can perform in 10 minutes. Drill A, the 60-second gate. Stand before a mirror. Close your eyes. Breath in to 4. Hold 1. Breath out to 5. Watch the throat in the mirror. Speak. 1 simple sentence. Slow. Record if you can. Notice the throat. Notice whether the jaw advances to hide the sound. Repeat. Do this for 7 days. Observe the change. Drill B, the 3-second pause in practice. In a conversation today, wait 3 full seconds before you reply to any reasonable question. Not 1, not 2, 3. Let the person's eyes search you during that pause. Let the room register the absence of a verbal crutch. You will be surprised how often authority is misattributed to speed and how often presence is misattributed to delay. Drill C, the walk of claim. Walk down any street with your chin at neutral, shoulders squared, breathing anchored. Step deliberately. A deliberate footfall changes how the world negotiates with you. If you feel ridiculous, good. It means you are rewiring. These drills confront the servant by refusing its bargains. The servant will resist. It will produce a rush of socially anxious thoughts. It will produce the urge to apologize. Stand through it. Now, a short historical aside, a seam of authority woven into our narrative. Machiavelli advised princes to manage appearances because appearances govern outcomes. Jung gave us the shadow to explain why we leak. Use both. Strategy without inner work is a costume. Inner work without strategy is a confession. Combine them. Where do micro-pauses fit in the theater of presence? They are the currency of authority. A man who masters pause can bend the cadence of attention. But pause is not weaponized silence, it is economy. Think of it like fire. Fire can warm or burn. Pauses, used with purpose, warm the room with gravity. Pauses used without intention become cold absence. Imagine the following scene. You enter a dim room. The conversation dips. You do not force entry. You stand, measure, inhale like a bell being tuned, and then you step with a statement that lands. The effect is volcanic. People turn. The room reconfigures its energy to accommodate you. That is not magic. It is the reallocation of attention. It is the signal converted from leakage into declaration. There are traps. Beware the mimic. Men watch films and emulate swagger, hollow and costumed. The mimic will put on the signs without the substrate. The mimic will stand broad without anchored breath, will hold gaze without presence, will speak pauses like a script and provide no gravitas. The woman suspects mimicry in a single heartbeat. It smells of performance. The antidote to mimicry is interiorization. Practice until the posture and pause are not props, but reflex. Remember, authenticity wins when it is strong, not when it is timid. The servant will tell you otherwise. It will whisper that you must please, must soften, must be perpetually accommodating. That whisper is the designer of your leaks. Micro-order. Look at your hands now. Are they small, busy, apologetic? Relax them. Let them rest. Your hands determine the tempo of your shoulders, and your shoulders determine the slope of your voice. Let us map a short subroutine for social entry. I give it in clean steps so you can rehearse it as a ritual. Entrance subroutine. 5 beats. Anchor breath. Count. 4 in, hold 1, 5 out. Posture check. Shoulders back, chest subtle, chin neutral. Eye measure. 2 seconds of calm, assessing gaze. Silence. Hold. 3 seconds before speaking. One-line statement. Short, declarative, no apology. This subroutine is short enough to carry in your pocket. Practice it at least once a day in small settings. Do not overuse it like a talisman. Use it until the servant accepts new terms. Now, a psychological pivot. When you begin to control the signal, resistance will arise externally. People expect certain rhythms from you. Friends, colleagues, lovers, they will push against your new cadence. Why? Because your old leakage served social functions. It punished. It soothed. It maintained roles. Your change forces a new negotiation. Antagonist again. The social fabric that feeds on your timidity. It will prod, test, and sometimes shame you into previous habit. Prepare. Prepare with 2 small strategies. Strategy 1, the soft hedging response. When someone tries to drag you back, respond with a small, unnegotiated act, a measured nod, and a short, non-apologetic phrase. Noted. Understood. The servant will hunt for conflict, deny it spectacle. Strategy 2, the rehearsal return. After any social friction, go back to the mirror. Re-anchor. Repeat the 60-second gait. Small daily maintenance. Now a final practical set of micro-rules, 2 compact laws to seal the chapter. Law of the gate. Your throat is a gate. Never open it on autopilot. Always inhale, anchor, then speak. The universe remembers whether you ask permission to exist in it. Law of the pause. 3 seconds becomes your baseline. Use it everywhere. With texts, with dates, with speech. Respect silence as a tool. Abandon the frantic need to fill it. Close with an image. Imagine a fortress. Not a fortress of armor. A fortress built of measured breath and economy of motion. It does not shout. It holds. Light plays on its stones. From within, fires burn steady and low. From without, crowds circle and misread its silence for indifference. Those who guard themselves with flash must make noise to be seen. You who build with silence and breath will be seen because silence has weight. One last order. Practice the 60-second gait tomorrow. Do it in front of a mirror before you shave, before you dress, before you speak to the first person you meet. Notice how your body answers. Notice how the secret servant tries to bargain. When it does, stand higher. Breathe slower. Speak less. The room listens. The room will decide. Make your signal deliberate. There is a voice behind your voice. It is softer. It is older. It negotiates deals you never signed. You meet it in the small humiliations, the cough you spare before speaking, the way you laugh to shorten a pause, the concession you offer before the debate begins. Jung named that region the shadow, the compressed archive of everything you learned to hide. It is not sinister by nature. It is efficient. It trades freedom for ease. and it is the true antagonist of any man who seeks presence. This chapter hunts that voice. We will unmask its methods, interrogate its bargains, and, crucially, teach you how to refuse its contracts without becoming cruel to yourself. You will learn to catch the shadow mid-sentence and to put a new sentence in its mouth, one that serves your aim. Listen close. The shadow is not a ghost, it is habit. It is biology draped in story. Where did the shadow come from? It forms in the spaces where you were punished or ignored for being loud, visible, wrong, or different. A child that was shushed learns silence as survival. A boy rewarded for being small learns to make himself small. Those adaptations are intelligent. They protected you. But intelligence that was useful in childhood becomes sabotage in the adult world that values calibrated risk and honest presence. Short sentence. Name it. You will feel resistance when you begin to act against the shadow. Resistance is proof you are on the right track. The shadow speaks with a script. Learn the script and you can interrupt it. Here are its common lines, the phrases it repeats until they become automatic. I don't want to bother them. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. I'm probably overreacting. Let it go, it's not worth it. Each line is a concession disguised as prudence. Each line is a withdrawal of status. Each line has a rhythm. Notice it. The rhythm accelerates as the stakes rise. When you are about to claim something, attention, a seat at the table, a woman's time, the shadow quickens its whisper. Its job is simple, to keep you small. Now the tools. We will use 3 approaches together. Naming, interruption, rehearsal. Use them in sequence. They form a short tactical routine you can run anywhere. Step 1. Name it. Micro order. Say aloud, "That is the shadow." It sounds ridiculous. Say it anyway. Naming takes power from the anonymous. The shadow thrives on being unnamed. It runs best in the dark. Step 2. Interrupt it. Create a small physical interruption when the shadow begins its script. A footstep, a throat clear, a deliberate inhale. Do something visible and neutral that breaks the automatic chain. The body resets. The mind pauses. Step 3. Rehearse the alternative. Replace the shadow's sentence with a pre-made statement that moves you toward presence. Not elaborate, not theatrical, short, true. Example, the shadow whispers, "I don't want to bother them." Interrupt with a throat clear. Say, "Excuse me." Quick point. Move. Deliver one sentence that matters. Leave. These steps are surgical. They do not require bravery in mythic quantities. They require repetition. The shadow will resist, it will escalate. It will produce cognitive noise, a chorus of excuses, to reclaim its authority. That noise is not real evidence. It is the shadow organizing a blockade. Here are 3 micro rules to internalize. They are tools you carry into social battle. Micro rule 1, name the bargain. When you notice hesitation, locate the assumed benefit the shadow promises. If I apologize, I avoid conflict. Name that promise aloud. Then choose a different utility. If I do not apologize, I risk a short disagreement, but preserve my voice. Decision overrides habit. Micro rule 2, the 3-second interruption. When the shadow speaks, force a 3-second physical action. Tap the table twice, inhale twice, or take a single step. That small interval breaks the associative loop that feeds automatic concession. Micro rule 3, preload your statement. Before any social interaction where stakes matter, decide the one short line you will speak if the shadow intervenes. Short, clear, and neutral. Example, here's my point. I'll take that. I disagree, briefly. Say it in the mirror until your mouth finds the rhythm without the shadow. These rules are minimal by design. They are austere because you will build strength through small consistent acts rather than theatrical overcorrection. A practical drill follows. This is not theory, it is rehearsal. Drill, the 3-word rehearsal. For 7 days, you must rehearse a 3-word corrective phrase in 3 different contexts each day. Pick one phrase. I choose otherwise. Noted, I'll act, or hold that. In conversations at work, in lines at the store with friends, use the phrase when you feel the shadow's tug. Short, crisp, no explanation. The aim is to graft a new neural pathway. Hesitation, interruption, clear action, repeat. The shadow will sputter. It will attempt to camouflage the old comforts. Do it anyway. Now, deeper work. There is a structural layer beneath the scripts, a set of stories you keep about yourself. These are the shadow's architecture. They tell you what is permissible for you to want. Common stories sound like this. I'm not interesting enough. I'll be seen as arrogant if I insist. I must be useful before I'm allowed to be seen. These narratives are historical. They mirror specific events. Track them back. Ask, when did I first learn this? Who enforced it? Naming the origin collapses the myth. Jung insisted that the shadow holds both the qualities we deny and the energies we need. It is not simply a villain to be destroyed. It is a treasure chest of suppressed force. The trick is to reclaim the force without carrying the baggage, to reallocate energy from apology to calibrated action. This requires two tensions you must master: gentleness and rigor. Do not mistake inner rigor for cruelty. You can be disciplined without brutalizing your emotional life. Conversely, kindness without boundaries becomes softness that the world reads as unreliability. The shadow will try to flip your practice into either false harshness or codependent gentleness. Do not let it. Pause. Micro-order. Feel that tug. Where does your body contract? Is it the throat, the solar plexus, the jaw? Hold the sensation for 4 breaths. Do not react. Notice. Good. You survived the pause. Now the antagonists widen. The shadow is your internal saboteur, but it is helped by external accomplices, social scripts, cultural rewards for deference, and modern platforms that encourage performative humility. Society dresses timidity as virtue and broadcasts it loudly. Online, displays of usefulness and softness get rewarded with likes and short-term approval. In person, the market rewards steadiness and calibrated risk. The disconnect creates confusion. Your shadow profits from that confusion. Recognize the collusion. When friends praise your humility, the shadow gains reinforcement. When social circles maintain you in a role of quiet helper, change will be resisted. Your decision to alter the signal is a social perturbation. Expect pushback. Expect tests. How to handle tests. 2 tactics. Tactic 1. Quiet consistency. When you shift your pattern, do it quietly and consistently. Avoid grand proclamations. The shadow thrives on spectacle. Your stability will decode the message more effectively than a dramatic transformation. Tactic 2. Controlled withdrawal. If a person repeatedly attempts to drag you back into old roles, withdraw from that relationship's emotional bandwidth until new terms can be negotiated. This is not punishment. It is boundary maintenance. The shadow will call it betrayal. Know the difference. A historical cut. Nietzsche taught that the will to power is not cruelty, but an orientation, the capacity to assert one's values in the world. This is not license for domination. It is an ethical posture, actively choosing your direction rather than being chosen by past fears. Apply this. Choosing your presence is an ethical act. Now, practical mapping of shadow scenarios. 3 common social scenes and the corrective you should apply. Scene A, the meeting hijack. Someone interrupts you and the room begins to slide into their cadence. The shadow says, let it go. The corrective, the 3-second interruption. Put a hand on the table. Inhale. Say, when I finish, 2 minutes. Then continue. Scene B, the date deflection. She challenges you playfully to reveal more. The shadow says, play safe. The corrective, preload a short line that invites measured revelation. I will tell you one thing now, another later. Pause. Deliver. Scene C, the social withdrawal. A friend assumes you will do the heavy lifting. The shadow says, I'll pick up the slack. The corrective, name the bargain. I'll help this once, but next time, handle it yourself. Step back. Each corrective is small. Each one interrupts the script. Each one teaches the world to negotiate new terms with you. Now, a crucial psychological tool, the mirror question. At the end of every day for 7 nights, ask yourself, what did I give away today that I did not intend to? Write 1 sentence, then ask, what small act would have preserved my claim? Write 1 corrective action. This keeps the shadow visible and accountable. It converts passive regret into actionable rehearsal. Micro-pause, micro-order. Close your eyes. Imagine the shadow sitting across a small table. It is not monstrous. It is weary and well-practiced. It offers you a cup. It says, I kept you safe. Say thank you, I'll keep the cup for later. You have acknowledged the shadow's service without surrendering the controls of the vessel. This is the tone you must adopt. Firm, not cruel. Strategic, not theatrical. The shadow will not disappear overnight. It will shrink as you reassign its duties. It will give up control of your throat, your shoulders, your timing. And as it recedes, new energies wake up. The capacity to hold attention, to risk a statement, to create a silence that fills other people with curiosity rather than pity. Before we close, 3 compact micro-rules you will repeat until they are reflex. Micro-rule 4, the bargain log. Keep a small note of every time you say sorry, just, or I'm probably for 1 week. Count them. Awareness collapses automaticity. Micro-rule 5, the 1-sentence guarantee. In any heated moment, guarantee 1 sentence of your truth and stop. No elaboration. This prevents the shadow's cascade of subservience. Micro-rule 6, the return ritual. After any social setback where you felt the shadow win, perform the 60-second gate in private. Re-anchor, retrain. We end where we began. The shadow is not the enemy to be destroyed, but the undercroft to be rearranged. Jung did not ask us to expel the shadow. He asked us to integrate it, so that its energy could be used consciously. In practice, this means you will take what the shadow has been hoarding, caution, empathy, modesty, and convert it into a calibrated form that supports presence rather than undermines it. Cliffhanger. The shadow smiles when it senses a victory. It believes its work is permanent, but there is one breach it fears more than anything: deliberate rehearsal. It fears the steady, daily practice that remaps reflex. Tomorrow you will test it. You will name 3 default fears aloud and refuse the first one for an hour. You will interrupt the first whisper with a physical action. You will say 1 preloaded sentence. The shadow will respond. It will escalate. It will try to bargain. It will promise comfort, amiability, invisibility. Stand through it. The conversation is not over. The shadow speaks. You will learn to answer. Authority is not a shout. It is a calibration. You think volume wins, you are wrong. Volume buys attention for a moment. It buys little else. Authority is the slow accumulation of small refusals to be hurried. It is the way a man occupies time and space so that people bend around him like water around a stone. Quiet authority is not absence. It is density, the kind of presence that reshapes how the world schedules its guesses about you. This chapter is tactical. It will give you rules that alter perception in real time. It will give you rituals to make those rules reflexive. It will also bring a new antagonist into focus: public noise, the marketplace of opinions, the algorithms of approval, the casual democracy of interruption. Society teaches that attention is earned by spectacle. That false economy has trained men to perform rather than to hold. Quiet authority undoes the performance and replaces it with gravity. Listen, learn, practice. First, the anatomy of quiet authority. Break it down into parts you can touch: breath, tone, pause, gaze, motion economy, micro-expressions. These 6 are the currency. Master them, and you will spend attention rather than beg for it. Breath anchors everything. A shallow breath makes a shallow man. When your breath is high and fast, your voice thins, your movements rush, your judgment chases the next sensation. A slow, deep breath does more than relax you. It lowers the pitch of your voice a fraction, aligns your posture, slows your hands, and adds an unseen mass to your presence. It is the foundation. Tone is the body's headline. A single line delivered with a steady tone can dominate a room. Tone does not mean monotone, it means control. Control the bass, Let inflection rest on top like the finishing stroke. The lower register breathes authority into words. Women read it as capability. Men interpret it as stability. Pause is the surgical tool. The pause is not emptiness. The pause is the architecture of gravity. Use it before an important line. Use it after a sentence to let meaning sink. Use it when someone expects you to cave. Pause long enough that the room tries to fill it, and then refuse that bargain. The refusal is a message. You own your time. Gaze is the ledger of intent. A held look, calibrated and kind, says, "I notice you, but I do not collapse." A distracted look says, "I am absent." A bullied look says, "I will not hold consequence." The held gaze is a claim. It is a small, brave anchor. Motion economy. Reduce the verbs of your body. The world is noisy. Motion multiplies noise. When you move with purpose, each motion becomes an event. When you flood motion into your posture, pacing, fidgeting, restless hands, you surrender authority by quantity. Micro-expressions. Keep them minimal and readable. An eyebrow, a small tilt, a contained smile. These are the punctuation. They manage warmth without weakening the claim. Now the three most lethal mistakes men make when trying to appear authoritative. Mistake 1. Copying swagger without substrate. You see a confident man and imitate his posture like costume. You put on the look but not the breath or the pause. The result is exaggerated form with hollow center. Women smell it. Men spot it. The mimicry collapses under scrutiny. Mistake 2. Confusing speed with competence. You answer quickly to appear sharp. You become an answering machine. Speed without thought is a form of fawning. The room reads it as lack of internal cost. Mistake 3. Failing to hold silence. You hate the void and rush to fill it with noise. The void tests you. Passing the test shifts the scoreboard. We will give you micro rules now. 3 rules you must obey until they are muscle. Micro rule 1. The 3-second pre-claim. Before making any claim, a short opinion, a correction, a compliment, inhale for 4 counts, hold 1, exhale for 5, wait 3 seconds, then speak. The time creates heft. The breath aligns tone. The pause forces the room to listen because it has already decided you will speak of consequence. Micro rule 2. The low anchor. Train your voice to sit slightly lower than your conversational baseline. Do this by speaking from the diaphragm, not the throat. Drop 2 semitones when you want weight and practice it until it is comfortable. Do not exaggerate. The anchor must feel natural. Micro rule 3. The 2-motion rule. Limit expressive movement to 2 intentional motions per minute in group settings, a single hand gesture and a single step or head nod. Each motion must be deliberate. This scarcity makes gestures meaningful. It turns your body into punctuation rather than background static. Short pause. Breathe with intention now. Do it. Anchor. Notice how the room around you, even in imagination, tightens and listens. Next, rituals. Theory without ritual is theater. Rituals convert rules to habit. Here are 3 rituals to practice daily for 10 minutes. They are minimal and brutal in their efficiency. Ritual A, the weighted statement drill, 5 minutes. Stand in front of a mirror. Pick 3 statements you would use in conversation. A greeting, a disagreement, a closing line. For each, inhale, hold, exhale, wait 3 seconds, and deliver the line with the low anchor. Observe the face in the mirror. Repeat until the line drops into the chest. Do daily. Ritual B, the stillness walk, 2 minutes. Walk in a measured line for 2 minutes. 1 footfall per beat, no phone, no music. Breathe anchored. Let each step be deliberate. The goal, reduce movement entropy. The side effect, your gait becomes a signal. It tells observers you are not a man who can be hurried. Ritual C, the 3-second reply, 3 minutes practiced in conversation. When someone asks you a question today, count silently to 3 before answering. Do this deliberately for 3 interactions. Notice the shift in how your answer lands. Notice the recalibration of attention. Now the tactical applications, exactly how to use these rules in common settings. In a meeting, use the 3-second pre-claim. It turns interruptions into stage sets. When someone cuts you off, do not match speed. Pause. Place your palm on the desk. Say nothing for 2 seconds, then speak your sentence. Make it concise. The lack of chase is disruptive to the interrupter. They will have to adjust. On a date, use the low anchor and the pause. When she laughs and offers a gauge, do not rush to amplify. Wait. Let the laughter hang. Respond with a measured line that reveals just enough. The rhythm of restrained reveal produces curiosity. Curiosity is currency. In a social crowd, use motion economy. Stand with an open chest, 1 foot planted, 1 micro gesture ready. Let others rush. Let your stillness become your advertisement. In text and online, apply the law of quiet in typed form. Less is heavier. A short, thoughtfully timed message has greater effect than immediate flurries. Delay is a tool. Immediacy is often a sign of insecurity. Use the 3-second rule in voice notes and the 2-minute rule in messages. Write, step away, return, edit for wait. Antagonist again. Society's noise will try to pull you back. Social feeds reward constant modulation. Friends will call your new steadiness cold. Co-workers will test whether you are the same man when the crowd is not watching. Expect tests. Expect the market of attention to be loud and petty. Do not trade your authority for likes. Think Machiavelli. The appearance of power must be managed, but not manufactured for spectacle alone. Strategy is not vanity. Strategy is survival. Short micro-order. When tested, do the pause. When baited, do the anchor. When coerced into performance, do the stillness walk privately and return. Retention tools, practical devices to ensure you keep the work. Device 1. The pause cue. A small ring or wristband. Each time you see it, perform a single anchor breath and scan your shoulders. A tiny external cue rewires internal practice. Device 2. The playback note. Record 1 short voice sample daily, a 30-second opinion on anything. Listen back weekly and mark where tone wavers upward, where pauses are absent, where movement is audible in the voice. Progress is measurable. Device 3. The 2-rule check. At the end of each day, answer 2 questions in a single line in a notebook. Where did I pause? Where did I not? This keeps attention on process rather than performance. A short historical cut. Machiavelli taught that rulers must control appearance because appearance acts like a currency in political life. Quiet authority borrows this lesson but purifies it. You control appearance not to manipulate, but to create conditions where your competence can be judged fairly. Appearances without discipline are commodities. Discipline without appearance is wasted. Combine both. Warnings. There are ways to misapply these rules and become brittle or brittle-seeming. Warning 1. Do not weaponize silence into cruelty. Quiet authority should not be used to dominate for sport. It is a tool for allocation of attention, not punishment. Warning 2. Do not freeze expression into robotic austerity. Warmth is a component of authority when it is intentional. A small, genuine smile given rarely has more power than constant affability. Use warmth as a spice, not as a base. Warning 3. Do not substitute calculated cool for competence. If you use pause and anchor to obfuscate ignorance, you will be exposed when action is required. Quiet authority must be backed by skill. Now, advanced practice. These are harder drills for men who already applied the basics and want the skill to be durable under pressure. Advanced Drill 1. The pressure pause. Simulate stress. Have a partner ask a mildly provocative question. Do not react. Inhale, hold, exhale, wait 3 seconds, answer with the 1-line guarantee, 1 declarative sentence. Repeat until the pause is comfortable, even as adrenaline spikes. Advanced Drill 2. The crowd calibration. Practice in public. Stand in a cafe. Choose a small claim. A correction in a reading group. A brief comment in a lecture Q&A. Use the 3-second pre-claim. Measure the room's response. Return weekly. Advanced Drill 3. The public voice drop. Record a 10-minute talk. During the talk, intentionally lower your anchor in the most important paragraph. Listen back. Does the drop feel natural? Adjust. 2 final micro rules for the close. Micro Rule 4, the one-line guarantee. In settings of high noise, give one line of clear instruction and stop. This prevents you from apologizing into submission. Micro Rule 5, the recalibration breath. After any social torrent, a heated meeting, a chaotic encounter, do 3 anchor breaths and the stillness walk for 2 minutes. Reset the physiology. The body holds memory. You must overwrite it. Image. Picture a stone bell at dawn. The bell is buried in a quiet tower. Light finds it. A man approaches, breathes and strikes once. The sound is not loud, it is necessary, it rewrites the day. That is quiet authority, a single measured event that reorders perception. Short pause. Breathe in now. Hold. Exhale slowly. Feel the drop in tone. When you speak next, let that physiology be the baseline. We close with the ethical spine of authority. It should not be vanity's mask. Quiet authority is not a tool for crushing others. It is a method to move through the world without wasting force. It enables you to make decisions that matter, to be trusted when the room fractures, and to be chosen when opportunity requires a man who will not be hurried into error. Promise. Do this work for 30 days. The rituals, the drills, the daily playback, and the room will begin to predict you differently. It will start expecting pause. It will start valuing your breath. It will give you time by habit. Final order. Tonight, before sleep, pick one conversation you will face tomorrow. Rehearse your one-line guarantee 3 times with the low anchor. Walk the stillness walk. Put your hand on the pause cue. Sleep with the intention to be measured. Quiet authority is not soft. It is not easy. It is necessary. It is a discipline that takes a life to refine. Begin now. You will not be remade by insight alone. You will be rebuilt by ritual. The preceding chapters taught you to see the leak, to name the saboteur, to hold quiet authority, and to measure the barometer she reads. This chapter is the smithy. It is the week, the month, the sequence of small, stubborn acts that convert intention into muscle. Here you will be given the forge, 5 rituals, daily and repeatable, and the tactical architecture to maintain them against the 3 great antagonists: the shadow within that negotiates cowardice, the market of spectacle that demands instant modulation, and the internet's gentle violence of perpetual approval. These forces will conspire to steal your work if you let them. They prefer men who rehearse by omission. This chapter is practical and brutal. It gives protocols, not promises. Perform them, repeat them. When you are done, your signal will have been deliberately fabricated, not faked, but formed. It will be true and useful. Listen, these rituals are small but cumulative. Imagine heat applied to metal. Not enough, and the metal resists. Enough repeated and it yields, malleable, then hard, then tempered. That is the work. We begin with the 5 daily rituals, the forge sequence. Each ritual takes between 3 and 10 minutes. Together, they occupy less than an hour. They cost deliberation, not courage. They demand repetition, not inspiration. Ritual 1, morning calibration, 7 minutes. Purpose, align physiology with intention. Procedure, stand before a mirror. Perform 3 anchor breaths, 4 in, hold 1, 5 out. Scan shoulders, jaw, throat. Speak 3 sentences with the low anchor. 1 gratitude line, 1 one-line guarantee for the day, 1 micro goal. Example, I own my time today. I will make 1 decisive call. I will respect silence. Do not explain. Do not soften. Finish with a single small smile held for 1 breath. Micro order. Do this every morning. Why it works. Physiology precedes posture. Prime the body, and the voice follows. Machiavelli taught rulers to manage appearance because appearance rearranges outcomes. This is that lesson applied to the individual. Ritual 2, midday gate check, 5 minutes. Purpose, interrupt drift and test fidelity. Procedure, at midday, take a deliberate break. Run the 60-second gate. Anchor breath, posture check, 1 recorded line into your phone, a 20-second comment on something you've done so far. Play it back once. Note tone, pauses, throat tension. Adjust. Return. Why it works. The servant relaxes in daylight. A midday check prevents accumulated concessions from calcifying into habit. Ritual 3. The one wager. 10 minutes once per week. 3 minutes daily prep. Purpose. Build decision velocity under consequence. Procedure. Each week choose one small public wager, a plan that requires a clear yes-no from another person. Prepare the one-line guarantee, the pause to act, and the two-motion rule for that interaction. Rehearse the opening line thrice in the mirror. Execute the wager within 72 hours. Why it works. Habit without risk is brittle. A wager forces you to operate under true social friction and rewires defensive appraisal into forward movement. Ritual 4. The shadow audit. 7 minutes evening. Purpose. Integrate difficulty. Starve the shadow of anonymity. Procedure. Each evening, write 3 lines. 1. One place you surrendered. 2. The shadow phrase you heard. 3. The corrective you will try tomorrow. For each surrendered moment, perform the 60-second gait immediately after noting it. Anchor, vocalize the alternative, repeat once. Why it works. Naming plus immediate repetition prevents the shadow from assimilating failures into identity. Jung insisted on making the unconscious explicit. This is a practical version of that therapy. Ritual 5. The quiet return. 10 minutes bedtime. Purpose. Consolidate gains. Temper arousal. Procedure. Lie or sit quietly. Run a slow breathing cycle for 5 minutes. Review the day's playback note. Choose one small win and one small correction. Breathe into the correction and imagine performing it better tomorrow. End by saying aloud, I forge deliberately. Close. Why it works. The nervous system consolidates practice during rest. Ending with intentional review moves rehearsal into memory. These 5 rituals are the skeleton. Flesh them with drills, micro-rules, and devices. Below, the core micro-rules you must obey while practicing the forge. Micro-rule 1. Daily minimalism. Each day remove one public performance you habitually use to gain approval. A laugh, a fast joke, a rehearsed compliment. Replace it with silence or one neutral phrase. This reduces mimicry and forces interiorization. Micro-rule 2. The 3-second debt. Owe the world 3 seconds before every meaningful speech act. This is non-negotiable. It is your daily tax on quality. Micro-rule 3. The 2-guard boundary. Handle requests with 2 atomic responses. I'll take that, commitment, or noted, deferral. No explanations, no qualifiers. This converts concession into bookkeeping. Micro-rule 4. The rehearsal Sabbath. Once per week, perform the weighted statement drill for 10 minutes and the stillness walk for 5. Do not skip. Rituals require rhythm. Now the drills, repeated actions to create muscle memory. Drill A. The throat hammer, daily, 5 minutes. Stand in front of a mirror. Speak a short declarative line with the low anchor. Immediately shadow the line with a louder, faster variant and then return to anchor. The contrast instills control. Record, listen, adjust. Drill B. The silence tolerance, varied. Place yourself in a small social setting, line, cafe, and deliberately adopt a retirement of speech. Listen and count to 6 before answering any non-hostile prompt. Keep a neutral face. The longer tolerance builds the barometer's sense of capacity. Drill C. The public claim, weekly. Make one small but visible correction in a group setting. A factual point, a logistical choice, a redirect. Use pause to act. Use low anchor. Observe responses and note them in your ledger. Retention devices, tools to maintain progress. Device 1. The pause band. A subtle ring or bracelet that when seen triggers one anchor breath. Use it during the day as a bodily cue. Device 2. The playback archive. Store your daily 20-second voice clips in a single folder. Review weekly. The archive becomes a map of progress and a humiliation-proof litmus. Objective data beats narrative. Device 3. The accountability pair. Pair with one person for weekly wagers and reflections, not a cheerleader, a verifier. Share your one wager and the result. Expect blunt feedback. Antagonists do not retire when you build rituals. They adapt. The shadow will invent subtler scripts, The spectacle market will attempt to convert discipline into show. The internet will demand immediate, performative vulnerability that eats your practice. Fight back with 2 meta rules. Meta rule 1. Slow publicity. When you must use public platforms, plan a slow release. Post 1 measured piece per week. Use the pause to act for captions and the 3-second det for filmed statements. Resist the dopamine of hourly updates. Meta rule 2. Practice privacy. Most real rehearsal must be private. The internet rewards surface courage and punishes quiet repetitions. Keep 70% of your work off display. The forge requires private heat. Integration. Make the rituals a single weekly loop. The example schedule below converts theory into habit. Example week, loop, Monday morning, calibration, midday, gate check, evening shadow audit. Tuesday, calibration, weighted statement drill, 1 small public claim. Wednesday, calibration, midday gate check, rehearsal Sabbath, stillness walk plus weighted drill. Thursday, calibration, 1 wager execution, shadow audit. Friday, calibration, playback, archive review, public claim observation. Saturday, slow publicity post, if any. Rehearsal return, quiet return. Sunday, rest rhythm, light stillness. Walk, plan next week's wager. This schedule is a template. Adapt it. Do not skip the shadow audit. Now, tactical responses for when the antagonist strikes. If the shadow screams for old comforts during a public test, perform the 2-second physical reset. Feet planted, shoulders back, throat gate breath. And then execute a preloaded corrective 1-liner. Do not discuss feelings. Act. If the internet demands immediate vulnerability, delay. Use slow publicity. Write the draft. Let it rest. Reread in 24 hours. If your voice survives the delay, publish. If not, trash it. If friends mock or resist your new cadence, apply controlled withdrawal. Reduce the emotional exposure of those relationships by 30% until they accept the new terms. Demonstrate consistency. Let their discomfort settle rather than respond. A short psychological cut. Nietzsche taught that a man who defines himself creates values. Jung taught that integration brings wholeness. Use both. Create the signal that expresses what you intend to be. Integrate the parts that resist that intention, so energy is freed. The forge is the middle path. Discipline applied to integration. Practical metrics. How to know you are moving. Metric 1. Attention allocation. Track how often people interrupt you in meetings before and after 4 weeks of practice. Fewer interruptions that result in you yielding equals progress. Metric 2. Response weight. Use the playback archive to score each daily clip on 3 axes: tone steadiness, pause fidelity, throat tension. Score 1 to 5. Trending upward means the physiology has shifted. Metric 3. Social currency. Note how many invitations, requests, or follow-ups you receive compared to prior baseline. Increased genuine requests, not likes, indicate the market values your presence. A necessary warning. Tempered authority becomes brittle when divorced from competence. Do not practice presence at the expense of skill. Quiet authority attracts work. Meet it. If you are not developing craft, emotional, professional, physical, your signal will become a mask. The mask cracks. The forge is not simply for optics, it is for fitness. Final drills for consolidation, the 7-minute morph. 7-minute morph, daily optional advanced practice. 0, wu, 1. Wu, anchor breaths and posture. 1 wu, 3 wu. Weighted statement, drill, 3 statements with low anchor. 3 0 to 4 seers, stillness walk, fast pace, 1 footfall per beat. 4 0, 6 eusa, throat hammer, line, contrast, return. 6 ego to 7 zeus, playback, record a 30-second guarantee and listen once. Adjust. Do this for 30 days and you will feel the metal warm. Close with an image. Picture a smith at midnight. The bellows breathe slow. Sparks erupt. A red-hot blade is shaped and struck until the steel sings. The smith dips the blade into oil. Steam rises. The metal does not declare what it will do. It is merely ready. That readiness is your signal. It does not scream. It waits, and when required, it does its work without apology. Promise. If you perform the Forge sequence, daily calibration, midday checks, weekly wages, shadow audits, and the quiet return, for 30 days, 2 things will happen. First, your physiology will change. Your voice will hold lower notes, your pauses will become habitual, and your breath will anchor decisions. Second, the world will begin to predict you differently. People will allocate attention, responsibility, and opportunity in patterns that favor you. These are measurable shifts, not subjective flattery. One final order. Tonight, before sleep, plan 1. 1 wager for the week. State it aloud. Rehearse the opening line once. Sleep with the image of the smith's sparks. Tomorrow, begin the forge. You are not making noise, you are making steel.